They're so anti-freedom that they're extremely dangerous to our future. Iraq is probably the most dangerous country in the region. I don't know what's going to happen there.
They have the oil resources to support anything if they decided to take a left turn.
Oh, that's correct. We must recognize that this resource, that black stuff that we all use every day, whether we want to or not, is in critical percentages now coming from the Middle East. That does not have to happen. We do have resources in this country. Here, here. And we need to tap those resources.
All in favor of drilling for American oil, say aye.
The gentle lady from Alaska said, drill, baby, drill.
That would be Sarah Palin. Imagine how popular she is, an Alaska governor. All in favor of Jerry taking the message back to Washington to say, let us open up our drilling, say aye. The issue right now...
let me interrupt that. One day in a session of the Appropriations Committee, the new chairman, the guy just described from Wisconsin, was very unhappy with what we were doing, not letting him do. He was absolutely opposed, and Pelosi was opposed, to our even considering any kind of drilling within America for crude oil and natural gas. I had a guy primed in the back of the room, David Obey's own favorite bill, which handled the funding of labor and health and human service programs. He had in the full committee that day. My guy in the back of the room, who really knows the oil and gas stuff, rose with an amendment being recognized by me to David Obey's bill. And the amendment would have stripped David Obey's entire bill and put in provisions to drill for natural gas and crude oil in the United States. Obey picked up his gavel in anger, slammed it down, and walked out of the room, and for the rest of that year, we didn't have another Appropriations Committee meeting. I mean, in some ways, that's good, but this is the view they have. They know how to rule the world, and drill, baby, drill might give us some energy independence, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. Yes, I think we're ready for some energy independence. There was a rumor, and one of the things that we like to fashion ourselves around here is that we will study a subject so that rumor does not become the sort of thing that we thrive on. We heard that when we did the war games off of North Korea in retaliation for the ship that was sunk by North Korea, that the Chinese were somewhat flustered and that there was a request by their embassy that we would not fly our American flags on our ships during those exercises.
I don't know that there was such a request. If it were, our military would not comply.
Hear, hear. Do you have any comments about that?
Well, frankly, one of the reasons to be in the nation's Congress has to do with our national defense and our ability to be the voice for freedom in the world. It takes about half of our discretionary money nationally. I've been involved in many a program there where we've made an effort to reduce funding. National security shouldn't be totally free from careful analysis and a reduced pattern of funding over time. But we cannot ever afford to give away the store. The only reason to have a national government, in my mind, outside of the guarantees that are a part of our Constitution, the only reason to have it is to be able to secure ourselves and protect America's interests for our children and grandchildren. That sheriff who was on when I first came in reminded me of my brother and the years I've had a chance to serve this county. He talked about, is it Knight County he's in? Panama. But we have a handle on that question, but the China question is even more important. If we continue on the pathway that we are on, we find ourselves with multiples of $13 trillion of debt. Even the Chinas of this world are going to lose any confidence in ours as an investment place. If they don't buy our bonds, we don't have resources from China and otherwise, in the near term, it could be absolutely disastrous for our economy. But the only way to get out of that, ladies and gentlemen, is to recognize that it's our government, and we must insist that at every stage we we be willing to review the way individual elements of government are working, reduce the impact they're having on our communities and their size, reduce the funding wherever you can, but don't give it to the federal government. And then across the board, at the state legislature and also at the federal level, we need to continue this battle.
Stop the spending!
Stop the spending. Can China call in all their debt at once? No, they cannot. They too have resources that have to be invested somewhere, and the answer is no, but there's always the danger out there. Right now, there are more people in place who are scared to death that America is moving in the direction of Portugal, moving in the direction of France, moving in the direction of Italy, and that lack of confidence could cause the investment community around the world to walk away from us. So we're at a very, very critical moment. And it's because of that it's so important that you all continue to do what you're doing here and expand this across America.
Well, here. Jerry, being a real estate broker, a guy who's used to going out here and having an engineering company, subdividing land, building houses, building shopping centers, building bridges, I have suddenly seen capital and money dry up like nothing I've ever seen before. It makes 1991 crash look like a drop in the bucket. And I got my license when I was 19 years old back in 78, 79. And so I've been in the real estate market a long time. My family's owned 2 or 3 Century 21 companies between all of us. And the crash that I'm seeing right now and the level of investments, big hedge fund money, large capital that used to be available through banks to build or do anything. Everybody's sitting back and waiting, and I don't know for what, but it looks like they're waiting to see what's going to happen in the 2012 election. 2 years scares the heck out of everybody right now.
I believe that people who are savers, investors, small companies and otherwise, they're all holding back because of what they see in this administration and the direction it's taking. They also see how the Congress is made up. If we should, first, I just hope there'll be much closer numbers between the two parties in the House than there are now. But if lightning struck and the Republicans got the majority again, first of all, that new majority has to be willing to be committed to the very principles that we were reading together tonight. And from there, we can change not just our country, but we can help change the world.
I want to ask another issue. Hold on one second.
Yes.
Arizona.
Yes.
A great number of us have said, yes, immigration is a problem. Yes, there's a lot of illegals here, but seal the border first and then go try to solve the problems. Can you give us your comments on that?
Listen, I'm frankly, because of the whole dialogue we had, I didn't start with this. I meant to start with it. The most important challenge that we have immediately is to secure our border. And we can do that without just throwing more money at it. The reason it's not being done is because the leadership in the Congress doesn't want to secure the border. There's plenty of money. There's plenty of money in the pipeline. It's clogged with money. The people responsible for controlling our borders are saying they're underfunded, so they've got to just focus upon criminal aliens. That is not correct. There's enough money to stop this illegal flow. And above and beyond just illegals who come here for work purposes and don't have the permits, etc., a lot more significant are the criminal aliens and those people who are in the dope business. I mean, drugs coming from Mexico are a very big challenge to our society, and we must get a handle on it.
Thank you, Jerry. Without a doubt, me being somebody from the military side of the house, you hand a guy a truckload of cocaine, a couple of $1 million in cash wrapped in plastic,
right,
and a bunch of guys with AK-47s, and if you guys don't know it, there's 2 walls between you and the lobby where you came in. They're filled with cement, and they're cinder block. 2 walls, 2 buildings. That AK-47 from where I'm at right now can penetrate both of those walls and kill the guy on the other side. So when I open up and empty a clip, along with 3 or 4 other people on stage at that back wall, we can open a hole in that and take out most people on the other side. Most people don't know how serious an AK-47 is. You put those guys flooding across the border like this, and it is critical mass. And what I guess we have the same feeling, Jerry, that somehow sealing the border is being held hostage by the Democrats, in that you are going to either give us immigration reform first, or we're not going to seal the border. We wrote an article about the governor of Arizona, and Obama refused to reimburse her the $750 million she was out of pocket, and then refused to come and visit Arizona. Do you have any comments about that?
Well, Arizona, first and foremost, we are a republic. The individual states have the right to protect themselves. And in this case, Arizona took the steps they did relative to controlling their own border because the federal government and the authorities who had the responsibility were not willing to enforce their own law. And Nancy Pelosi does not want comprehensive immigration reform. She wants amnesty for the millions who are here illegally already.
Ladies and gentlemen, citizens are built from people that want to come here, learn our language, learn to be Americans, and not fly another foreign flag over the top of our American flag. Jerry, can you tell us what your opinion is on English first and English only?
One quick favor. When you say Republican, I'd like to hear you say conservative Republican.
Thank you.
Okay, conservative Republican.
I'll take my Constitution out of my pocket,
Back to the question with regard to English only. Mira, yo te hablo español más o menos perfecto para un caballo, ¿verdad? Yo no sé quién otra persona aquí te habla español. Now listen, the reason that I did that is, do you hear any Spanish or Mexican accent in my voice? No. My name is William O'Neill Jensen. I'm Dane and I'm Irish, okay? But you know why I speak Spanish? I never took one day in school. I speak Spanish because there's that much illegal immigration overflow in this country. I'm a product from my childhood. But now, Jerry, I'm bothered because our utility bills are in Spanish. Our ballots are in Spanish.
Yeah.
You want to run for office for Congress? It's, what was it, $13,000 to put your campaign statement? You had to do it in campaign statement, and you had to do it in Spanish. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm in English. How about you charge me $7,000? And there's like, no way. And then Clint and everybody else, the ballots for the local city council's got to be printed in Spanish.
And we're very far down that roadway of having people not just want to take away our republic, but take away our language as well. Yeah, I'm going to one up you on your Spanish, and then I want you to tell me what it means. En la boca cerrada no entran moscas.
See, I missed that day in school.
It is, ladies and gentlemen. It means it's my favorite saying. Silence is golden. And that ought to be the theme for all candidates who are running for public office. So, en la boca cerrada no entran moscas.